In this video, I'm going to help you understand what an API is, because APIs are very important. They're used in all sorts of applications, and they're actually quite simple and easy to understand. So essentially, the way an API works is, say if you are in, I don't know, Instagram, right? Instagram needs to request some information. Probably this information is like a photo, right? So the application, like Instagram, requests for the photo. There's the data that's held by the Instagram server, and then it's fed back. Okay, so in that situation, it's an image, but this could be any sort of data, information. Usually this is done in a thing called a JSON. Okay, so what is a JSON? What does it look like? Well, here you go. This is what an API is. Okay, so you can see it could be a little bit confusing. Let me zoom in. Zoom, 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 zoom. Um, Essentially, this is called a JSON, which is like a way to organize information. It's done in brackets. You can see here, this is current condition. This is nearest area. So there's a bunch of information. Okay, but don't worry about this so far. Right now, I want you to focus on this right here. This is an API call. Okay, so it's going to this weather website. It's taking this information, Paris, and it's formatting it. I think this probably means JSON. Okay, so you can see I can show you this, right? So this is live data. So if I actually refresh this page, maybe this information will change. I click enter, not yet. Enter. There we go. Okay, well, it didn't change. How about this? I would change Paris to London. London. Okay. When I do this, this information should change. There we go. So you can see that the weather changed. So this is the live information given by this website, and you're calling it from the browser. Okay. And you can see there's a bunch of different information here. And essentially, it depends on what you need, right? If you're looking for the humidity in London, well, you just focus on that line. If you're looking for what it feels like, you focus on that line. Okay, so that's a really basic example of what an API is. That's all it is. It's essentially a website that you call, not a website, it's essentially like a URL that you call to the server and it gives you information back. So another thing I wanted to mention about this is just like we changed this, London, I can change it to anything, right? Let's do New York. As long as this is in their system, it should work. I really don't know. Let's have a look. There you go. So it gives you the temperature in New York. So just like I can change this information here, we could also do other things with an API key. Okay, so essentially a key is a password. And you can see here, this one has my key, right? The way you get a key is you make an account on some website. This is CoinGecko, which is used for crypto. And here's my testing key, which I will delete after, so don't even try to use it. But here's my testing key, okay? And you can see this here, which is FPO. I put into the browser here, FPO, and that is acting as my password. If I do it, watch, let me copy all this first. If I try to do this with like half of the key, it just won't work. There you go, errors. Okay, but if I do this whole thing with my key, there we go. It'll give us all the information we need. Okay, and just like before, we can change, depending on the website, you can change this. So let's do like a Dogecoin. And if it comes up, there we go. It has the information about Dogecoin. It gives you the current price and everything you need to know about Dogecoin. Okay, so that's another example. The first one we did was a public API call where you don't need a key. The second one, we needed this private key in order for that to work. The reason for that is maybe someone's going to call this every second of every day, and that would be very compute expensive for the weather website. And so this is why they give you API keys. And if you want to spend your money to call it every second, then they let you do that. And the final thing I wanted to show you is right now we were calling from this URL bar here. But usually, as a developer, you're going to be doing this in like lines of code. So I've given you two very basic lines of code here. I'll just very quickly go through it. So this is JavaScript, and you can see this is still within the browser. If you press F12, you will come to the console, okay? And that's what this is. And you can actually run code in here. So as fast as possible, I'm going to break this down. Essentially, just like before, we're going to that website. It has my key here. Same thing, we're looking at Bitcoin. And then I've written some really basic code, which is essentially taking this information, and it's going to then analyze it. So it's going to get the current price, and then if the price is over 150, then it's time to sell. If it's under 150, then it's time to buy. So I'm going to click enter. There you go. So it actually got the current price, which is 107, and it's saying maybe buy. Okay, so a very basic example of how maybe you're going to build an app that helps you decide, right? Another one here, very similar, right? So we're using CoinGecko again. We're getting the current price, and then it's going to do some math, right? Okay, if I own one Bitcoin and the current price is this, how much money do I have, right? So one, right? But if I change, let's copy this. I can change all this So say if I had half, or let's just say, I don't know, a tenth of a Bitcoin. So how much is that worth? Well, there you go. It's worth $10,000. So this is what an API would look like in code. The actual API itself is even more basic like that than that. It's just this URL that gives you this data. I hope that was helpful. Thank you for watching, and please watch the rest of my videos. Thank you. Bye.